everybody, welcome back. We got episode 2 of 97 to Infinity. And we got to start off the show, guys. I have to apologize to everybody because I was clearly wrong. I very much boldly predicted Sandy was going to Portland. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I missed that by a mile and a half. Portland come out
I thought it
hot.
was going to be Dallas.
I,
Me too.
I, I'm, man, listen. By the time y'all seeing this, it was yesterday. When we're doing this, it is a couple hours ago. Sandy is heading to Toronto. Portland hired some man I have never heard of, and I am just confused. So I'll kick it to one of y'all. First, just reactions to pick a coach and just your reaction to the move itself.
I'm going to go with Alex. I mean, I know he is just because I'm a Cleveland Cavalier fan, but for me, I was just, where are we going with men coaching?
Mm.
Mm.
Where are we going with why aren't there so many capable women coaches available? And it's like, I get it. He has been assistant coach, but what about the women that are very much capable? Not to say he doesn't have his philosophy. He said he talked about coaching, the WNBA. I get it. I understand, but I just feel like the more and more we're pushing away from having women coach our women players. And it's just like, I just don't see it. I know Carl Smesco did great in his season with Atlanta, kudos to him. But also, like I said, when that argument happened, he coached women.
Yes.
And that's a very different, for me, even though I never played, but I feel like it's once you have that experience of coaching women, you know how to not only deal with the different emotions, but it's just also different from coaching men. So I was confused on why they went that route, especially being the expansion team. You would think like, oh, okay, you know, we're gonna get, new team, definitely bring back maybe a coach that no one was expecting, a previous player, or just bringing back a coach that we've seen previously that has no longer has a job. I don't know. I was confused, but he's there, so we have to see what he's gonna do. But Carl set the standard very high for men coaches coming into the W.
Well, with Sandy, I'll say that I didn't even think Toronto would be like the second team she'd have went to. I was thinking maybe like Seattle next after Dallas, possibly after they had announced that Portland hired their coach, which so they clearly have to be offering her some type of money, some type of guarantee, some type of plan that's like really stood out to her because otherwise, why? Like what? I don't know. It's a little like it's just interesting to me because I did not expect that at all from her. And then in terms of Alex, same thing. He's a man. Like there's so many female coaches available right now. Like, come on, Teresa Weatherspoon, Breon January, Noelle Quinn, et cetera, et cetera. A bunch of coaches that haven't coached yet, as well. Christy Tolliver, et cetera. It's interesting because I feel like we've we had a lot of female coaches before, not this past season, the season before, and now we're not seeing as many in the league. And actually, um, there was an article written about the idea of like the WNBA being like gentrified, which is interesting. It was written by Jackie Powell at the Nine.
Mm.
I'll have to
I,
take a look at that.
yeah, I like the gentrification idea because I feel like to me and the reason why it kind of caught me off guard and I was not with it, even though I am said man. My thing is, I think of it like from a player perspective. Like I play basketball in high school, and one of the good things when your coach can kind of prove to you, like I've been where you've been, I've been in your shoes. And as much as I think Alex probably in the NBA might have been a good coach someday as an assistant, I feel like there's something about having a player, a former player, like you said, Brianna January, Chris Tolliver, Lisa Leslie, Teresa Woods, whoever have you. And it's like I can give you parts because I've also been in your shoes. I've been on that court. I've also
Right.
played. And I think that has something to it. Now, not saying that it can't work, obviously. I mean, yeah, you're a UConn person. I mean, Gino, I not that I know of, but he ain't seemed like he touched no basketball for real compared to, yeah, I mean, compared to the success he's had coaching. But I still feel like there's something to the effect of I've also played. I think of like a Don Staley. That's why I think I very much love her program. And I do think that there's a part of that that is kind of missed there. And I feel like that's why with that decision, I was like, when you have so many of those other coaches on that board, like you said, like January, who, like, I mean, as an, like, and that's thing, getting an assistant, like, that's pretty much what Golden State did. And you're talking about standards. I mean, Semesco, yes, he set a great standard with Atlanta, but let's think about Golden State. I mean, they literally went snatched an assistant right off the bench and full blown. I mean, they have really set the bar for what these new expansion teams have to do. The way Golden State got into the playoffs, and I mean, yeah, they didn't end very well, but like they set
But
standard
that's
real
the
high.
reason why I think Toronto went that route
Hmm.
because Sandy is a championship coach. She what was the winningest coach in New York. So I just believe they're like, okay, Natalie came in with this new expansion team. No one expected them to even make the playoffs because they couldn't even play in their own arena. Their own arena didn't believe they was going to make the playoffs. So now you have this another team coming back. You know, I know it's a new like coming back, but it's like, okay, who are we going to put at the realm to coach this team that can put us in a position to make a playoff run? And I'll
Yeah.
say that for the tempo. For Portland, I just got to maybe see it all come together, see how who they draft, what his offense is going to look like, who his reserve is going to be. So I just have to see what his vision is once it comes to fruition and see how it's going to play out. So I won't knock it because you're not supposed to knock it until you actually, see what he's going to do. So I want to see how is it going to work? What is he going to look for? What type of system is he going to run? A lot of players, excuse me, a lot of coaches and players talk about the locker room. So out of all the players available, who's going to be your vet? Who's going to be that leader? Who's going to be that dog? Who's going to be the one that gets the motion check? What are you going to do? So I'm excited for that part, especially with all these players that we haven't seen being able to play. And here's another opportunity.
Yes. I would argue the pressure on like for both expansion teams, I think the pressure is more on Portland because A, you went and got a coach that was not Sandy or Noel Quinn or whoever else have you. And also the set, like the precedent that Golden State set, I'd argue the pressure is kind of on Portland because I feel like if they start off, and no disrespect to our Connecticut, but if they start off like the Sun did, like the noise around there is going to probably be very ugly
It is going to
because
be ugly because Natalie just came in and we were like, oh, you see the Valkyries? And it just, it raised the bar so high for an expansion team. It really, really did.
yes, it did. And speaking of like raising the bar, you could say a rookie. I'd argue who I'm hoping has a big jump next year. Dominic Malonga. In the fun of the off season, you always go overseas, and a fun issue. I'll give Gabby credit for bringing this to our attention to the group. But she had a contract dispute termination
Hmm.
thing. Um, I personally have kind of just she had went to have wrist surgery, so I don't understand all the drama and hoopla around it, and that's just me. But Gabs, since you brought this to the table, I'll kick this one right to you and just give me your reaction to the whole phenomenon here or drama at hand.
So I think her agent did her dirty. There was some miscommunications with the contract, obviously, because she had to get surgery on her dislocated wrist.
Hmm.
So obviously she wasn't going to be playing, but like I said, there was some type of not communicated information at some point. But another interesting thing, there's some stuff going around the media world right now that she's considering unrivaled.
Right.
So that's also very interesting. But then like people are wondering, there's just like different things with her agents, and people are thinking, does she have like an overseas agent and then also an American agent? And that was the issue in this situation, whereas there was no communication. People aren't
Yeah,
sure as of right now. But
I just think that if the we over here in the W, we made it okay for her to go back, and as well as FIBA, they make it back and forth to go to play for your country, play for the states, whatever. So be it. But the alleged stuff, like she pulled out of her contract to play for Unrivaled, but you guys don't know that. So for you to base your decision off a bunch of assumptions and what media is putting out there, that's kind of wild. Like you don't know that she didn't come to you and say, well, I'm gonna pull out my contract because I want to go to Unrivaled. Like I don't necessarily believe that's how it went down. So I feel as though they're like,
yeah.
oh, so you're playing with for Unrivaled and you want to pull out your contract. That's how it looks like to me. That it's just listening to a bunch of things that we don't even know if set in stone. Like, do we know her wrist injury is gonna be even ready for her to play in Unrivaled or even to
Mhm.
play overseas. So it's a lot of speculation. And it's like, stop.
Yes. Speculation.
Agreed.
Yes. It's speculation. And I'd argue that's one of those things in just, I think, in just general in like the world today of the speculating and jumping on things too soon that I've always disagreed with. But in this case in particular, it was the way that everybody jumped on, like I almost said like drama. Like everybody jumped on picking a reason for being mad or and I'm like, wait, we don't even got the full story. Like, and like it caught me so off guard because I was like, all right, she had the wrist surgery, so just right away I was kind of like, all right, like
Yeah.
there's got to be a timetable. So I just real
Hmm.
quick was like, chop it up. She's gonna just work out those last probably like couple of months before the season starts, not even try to go do nothing else. But like you said, the way that everybody just assumed and jumped on these narratives and like at this point, Arrival only got two slots left, and I feel like there's enough. There's so much drama around those two slots in itself that I was just like, I think we're just anybody's throwing any hat into the ring. Because I think
Right.
the best unrivaled hat throw I saw was Asia Wilson, and I was like, all right, guys, like with all due respect, I was
You know she's not playing.
like, what are we doing? Like, she hasn't done nothing overseas to begin with. Why would she magically now be like, I'm gonna do something in the offseason? Like, well, like I was like, come on, guys, like. And I just think like in the all that phenomenon, like we just people started just throwing stuff to the wall hoping it sticks. And I was like, that was insane.
Hmm.
And I just really felt like it was like for a young kid who's just trying to navigate the world right now, like things
The
that throw me
youngest
off.
player.
Yes, like
And
And
it's
she's
yeah.
like,
younger than me. And you know, as someone who's ripe 21, I'm used to trying to be the youngest person in the room. I don't know how to feel. I know how I felt about that when she got drafted. I really was like, oh wow, like she younger than me. But like, yeah, I think she's 19, 20. Like she's just trying to figure it all out. Like you said, she probably got a really weak agent. I mean, no disrespect, but she was out there in France, might have been just like I assume whatever age she had probably was not ready for some of this mess. And especially with all the CBA stuff and or whatever have you. Like who knows? And I feel like you said, it was just a bunch of, a bunch of just everybody freaking out. But speaking of freaking out, and this is the one that I find more funnier in the international play world with our W players, they're not letting NECA play in Nigeria. And before I can let y'all go, is Nigeria just does not want to win no medals and nothing? Like what are we doing? Like I'll let y'all give y'all thoughts, but I just feel like Nigeria is just not in it to win it right now. It to me does not make any sense.
I think it's politics for me. Third time denied. She's been trying since 2021. Not only was she denied, so was Eric Williams denied. So my things, for what? Because the first time it was too close to the deadline. Okay, bam, boom. I get it. Fine. That was the first time. But we're on the third time.
Yeah,
Her parents are from there. She's a star. You cannot deny that. Take that from her. She's one of our WNBA leaders, literally. And you see, and that's where I have the politic issue for me. It's like, okay, well, she's the leader over here, and for us on the WNBA, she's the voice. She sits in negotiations, she sits in those rooms, she does this, and like they're like, yeah, I don't know. She's reading too much into this. Let's stop this. I feel like it's just, well, they didn't follow our rules, so we're just going to deny it. And that's just like really what I feel like it comes down to. I feel like they really don't have a legitimate reason.
Mhm.
And for all these years, we had multiple people play either for the US or for their country. And it's like, okay, but they're part of two countries. If they want to play 1 year or one Olympic, excuse me, for Nigeria, just to make sure she goes and represents her country, for her parents, for her culture, being the first generation, as she stated, and then or she can play for the United States. She is a United States citizen as well. So what I don't understand the big issue. And like you said, do they not want to win? Like, do they not want to give themselves the best chance to win?
like
Mhm.
what?
Yeah, well, what I've also found interesting, I think it was the ESPN article about this. They had mentioned that FIFA doesn't like players to play for two different countries
Yeah.
in their career, which is like it's very interesting to me because like why? Like what is their reasoning? Because the article didn't really expand on that more.
No.
It just like straight up said that. And that it would be interesting for a journalist to grill like FIFA, like people in charge, and see what they would say when they were asked a question about that.
It's
Well, to
like, why
me,
can't they play for two countries? What
Yeah,
is the
like it's not like NECA's gonna be sharing the secret. Like, what is the secret? Like, you could watch them if you want. Like, what there's no secret to the US. Like they put a team together usually a year or two before the Olympics. Every other team is doing it the entire time.
Thank you.
So I just don't.
I
Like I
it,
said, politics.
no,
No,
Yeah.
it's literally politics. It's literally politics, but it's the part where I laugh because to Gabby's point, at FIBA, the actual Olympics, whatever, Eurobasket, whatever have you, whenever the US gets involved in these tournaments, it is literally we're going to grab the 12 best players, throw them in the camp for 2 weeks, hope they get some sort of gelling, and we're going to run out there and try to win. That is literally what the US does. And at this point, NECA understands the fact that she is not making that 12 player cut. Now, can we argue she should? That's a different conversation for a different day. But in
right.
reality, what's the point? Also, too, at this current time in America, let's not to get too deep into that conversation, but there's probably part of it also is like, do I really want to represent this country? So why not go represent where my ancestors are from? Also, for someone, when we let Joel Embiid try Cameroon, France, and you, why does it really matter? At the end of the day, there's no, like you said, there's no one person from just one country. Like that, it's a heritage thing. So to me, I don't understand if and like I don't understand why not. Like if you're a FIBA, like unless you just like let's let the US win every year and make sure that most of their talent won't be able like because you gotta think if we're going top whatever players in the world, out of the first 200, a good chunk of them are from the US. So it's like, unless you're just requesting the US win every year and just be like, well, one day we'll catch you, like, why not let that, if they want to go branch out and go help other countries, why not? I don't see the issue. I mean, Gad Williams is out there playing in France. I like, why? And you see what she almost did. So
Almost upset us.
It's
so like, why not? Like, I don't see the
it
big deal here.
it's giving bully on the playground
No, it really
vibes.
Mm,
is.
Like they
It-
have no reason. They just want to do it because they don't want her on the team. Like,
that's
yeah.
it.
Like
yeah.
And they can.
it's
Yep.
ridiculous. It is full blown ridiculous. But I would also laugh and argue it's more ridiculous, of course, the CBA negotiations. Man, the pot gets thicker. It just that you're trying to get some smooth gumbo, and just the more you stir, the worse it gets. Because before we laugh about the anonymous owners and their thoughts, I have to giggle about Adam Silver because he gave the most slickest, not helpful comment I've ever witnessed in my life because he very smoothly on one of them shows was just like, yeah, who no, don't they just shouldn't worry about revenue share. They're gonna get a pay increase that they deserve. And everybody in the comments was like, see, they're getting paid now. What are you complaining for? And I was like, y'all just it right over y'all heads. Y'all just missed exactly what the problem is. Because the fun thing is, and I love being that person in my family where I have to explain things and they're like, so they're like, yeah, yeah, I am the like the source to my grandparents. They're like, wait, so what? And I'm like, here's the fun part. And I think this missed everybody's. Oh, they're gonna get the increase to 1 million. I'm like, yeah, but in 3, 4 years, when the CBA still works, that max will still be 1 million. And when this league keeps making money, that will stay at 1 million. That's why they want the revenue share. And I feel like everybody keeps like all these people with these fake economics degrees that come up in these comment sections all keep missing the mark on what the point of these players is. As the money goes up, we want to get our fair share because at the end of the day, the players are the product. We talked about that last show. And it cracks me up because I was like, we missed the theme. We just missed it. Because Adam, yo, he was smooth with it though. Like, see, Kathy's too
That's what
under
I think
fire.
it is. That's what I think it is. A
Kathy is
lot
too
of
under
people are
fire right
not.
now, so she can't do it. But Adam, real smoothly, was just like, "Yeah, we're not worried about revenue share. We're just gonna give them a good increase, and everybody wins." And I was like, "Well, technically, no. Everybody does
The
not
thing
win,
where
Adam."
The thing with Adam is he went up there with confidence. He
Hmm.
went up there knowing what he was going to say. And the only thing he was going to say, there was no room for changing anything. He knew exactly what. And that's why I feel like that's where people are like, oh, he's good. He's standing on business. It's like, listen to the message that he's saying. Like, listen, you're going to lock these plays into another salary cap, basically, but they're still not gonna, when the league rolls, they're not gonna see any of that, guys. Like, and it's like, do we have to
Hmm.
baby the terms for you? Because that's really what he said, just with confidence.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
and and some of these players' careers, they'll be over almost or basically over by the next CBA. So like that's not fair to them. And we're talking compared to the NBA, a 50% revenue share versus a 9%. Like
That
it's
part.
not even close at all.
At
That
Like
part.
all.
That part.
Like 9% is ridiculous. And the thing is, the NBA owns the WNBA, so that now that also is going toward like that.
Hmm. And that's
Yeah.
really Adam's slick little comment is him making sure he gets his little $2 and change back. That's what it is. I say $2 change like it's not millions of dollars. But the point being, like they're trying to get their money back. And they're also trying to get some extra money on it. Like let's a couple of years lock y'all in, and then once this thing gets really big, then we can get you a little revenue sharing. I saw one article and they said if they gave them 50%, we'd be talking some 15 million dollar contracts for the top players. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like we went from 250K to 10 mil if we just give the even right. That's ridiculous.
And that
Then
just goes to show you that that's why they don't want to give them revenue
no.
shares, because they don't want to pay them that type of money.
I
They
mean,
don't want to pay them that type of money.
and I'd go as
Mhm.
far to argue they probably don't even like that in the NBA. Because if you think about the NBA, that NBA money is literally ridiculous. And that's only them getting 50% and them the contracts going up. But I'm like, now think if you let the women have that as they grow.
And it's
And
going
the
to keep
players know that.
growing.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's gonna keep growing because at this point, no matter who you think's responsible for them folks at this other comment, the lovely commenters that explain who's supposed to be responsible. No matter who, as the league grows, that money is gonna keep growing. This first TV deal is 200 mil, whatever, for 10 years. 10 years from now, if anything, our two lovely, rivalries from college, the Bird and Magic, if you will. I mean, they'll be in what? They'll still be year 12. Like they'll still be going strong. So I'm assuming that thing's only gonna double. And then, as you mentioned, your Jujus, your Azies, your whoever,
Flage,
fly,
like,
Olivia Miles, Hadar, we can name names. We can name names till we're blue in the face. Because even though
the
what's the one,
reason.
Jersey Robinson, like that's the one I'm excited for. Like, but all those, there's so many. Like, come on, like, but it's
It's
really
because
is.
they're building their brands now. So
Hmm.
everybody that's in 4 years of college, they are building their brands, building their fans, building their wealth, and then bringing all that with them to the W. So for you to say, or for you guys to think that it's not going to grow, and we have to see where it's growing, it's only been in the up and up for how many years now? It hasn't decreased. It's not like, oh, year 19, it went down 50%.
Yeah,
No,
dude.
every year has jumped up. So you have no documentation but fear, because you don't want to truly invest where your mouth is.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and correct me if I'm wrong. Before Caitlin Clark joined the league, we were also like on a rise.
Yes.
yes.
Once
It was
Yes.
on
again.
an increase. Yeah.
Once
Remember when
again.
Kathy came to Connecticut and was talking about the what is it? The chartered flights. This was when she was beginning of her
Yes,
senior
I
her
do
senior
remember
year.
that.
Kathy came into us and I asked her, what does it feel like from day one coming into commissioner to today, where you're having the ability to, give the players chartered flights? So
Oh
this is
my
when
gosh,
people
I was there
say,
for that.
oh no, it's because of Caitlyn, it's like, bro, that's how I know you wasn't truly invested in women. Like you say, you're invested in one person. That's okay, but shut up sometimes. Um, but that's what I'm saying. So this has been on the rise for the years, continuing to grow, and it's only going to get better. And y'all are afraid. No, you just don't want to put your money where your mouth is, and it's time to. If you really
Yes.
want to invest in women, put your money where your mouth is, and I promise you, it will double.
Yeah. And I
Your
mean,
investment will double.
yep. And at the end of the day, when it comes to that whole thing, it realistically was just a moment. This rise, like you said, it was already rising. But now that we're having the conversation, all it really was a moment in time where, similar to other moments in time with news and whatever, it was something that happened in the news that you could not outrun.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I remember watching the game. Cause see, I got a cousin who played at Tennessee. I've been watching those. Also, I always love watching women's basketball for the fact of they're not trying to dunk and chuck 30 footers. So they play some real basketball. They use the post, and I love watching that.
Fundamentals,
Fundamentals.
fundamentals.
I love that. So I remember watching. I remember watching. And I remember the moment that H. Reese hit the move her around the world. And I just remember sitting there thinking to myself, this is gonna hit the news like a wildfire. And
And
sure
then
enough, that next moment, anybody who knew me was like, yo, did you? I was like, I was watching it live. And I remember sitting there like it was on
it
every
made
news
first
station.
take.
Yep, it was on every
It,
news station. And yes, we didn't got to go about how
we're not gonna
we're
talk
not
about
even
them,
gonna we're
but
not gonna
but That's how you know it was a moment
Yeah.
because they don't ever talk about women's basketball
Yes.
ever on First Take. So
No.
when that
Mhm.
happened, that is what it started. Do I appreciate it? Because sometimes they highlight women, not all the time, but sometimes they do. And it's like you can deny it all you want, but it's okay. We know the truth. We seen it. We've been fans, but it's like I just wish the CBA sees it too and stop being so scared of like, what are you afraid of? That's what I want to ask them. Like, what are you guys so afraid of to give these women the not only the money but the revenue shares too? Like, what scares you the most?
And
And
that's my thing. Cause like, okay, they're asking for 50. But like, if you're really trying to play business, like from 9 to even like 35, you kidding me? Like what is the fear? What is the fear?
They're not trying to move at all.
Like
I don't think
not
there is fear. I think it's just greed.
mm.
Mm,
Oh, you cooked with that one. You cooked with that one.
you cooked with that
You
one.
cooked with
Yes,
that
Like
you
one.
I
did.
really think it's greed because I think, what Adam said, it's all rhetoric. It's just they say what they can say to basically justify the greed,
Mm,
but without saying they're greedy,
Mm.
obviously, because no one's gonna admit they're
Well,
greedy,
dear God, no.
no,
like
absolutely not.
ever.
Yeah,
Not at all.
no. Honest, hey, these people won't even admit to their name. Because speaking of people who won't admit to things, how are these little anonymous owners gonna run out here and just not even say with their chest, they're gonna say stuff about Fee, or she shouldn't have did. Sir, put your name on it. That it all the fun CBA mess and the drama and the my swaying of we might not go to a lockout. Oh, I think we're going to a lockout. Was that owner did not have the guts to be like, here's my name. And the reason why I think that above all else was knowing that there's a bunch of free agents and all this, all the stuff going on to the next season. I firmly believe that owner knew if I come out and say something, my players are going to leave my team.
Well,
And to think of, and I think of is what they did.
Or no recruiters or trend or
Yep, like
mm,
people
none of
like
that.
that organization.
No
I
one's
think
got.
they're afraid that organization will
trust.
fold, and I firmly believe that they know it happened because of what the W did and put a key mark in that seat in the House in Georgia. Y'all remember that when with the it was right around the bubble.
Yes.
The
Yes, the
Oh
protest.
my
Yeah,
protest,
yeah,
God,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
they full blown shifted an entire election in the state.
Yep.
And I'm like, that man knew what he was that man woman owner what they knew what they was doing, and they were just like, let me not mess up my franchise. So I'm going to go quietly be like, I'm mad because she's taking money out of my pocket by saying this, but
But
I
at the
don't got the
same
guts.
time, if I'm a player, I'm like, who is this owner? Because I don't want to play for you.
And
Like I want
Hmm.
to play for a team, ownership, board of committee, or whatever the name is. I want to play for them that puts the players first.
Hmm.
simple as
Well,
that.
Or stand on 10 toes, even if that's not you. Yeah, I said it. I didn't like how a private conversation got leaked. I'm not saying what she said is wrong. I'm just saying I don't like how she went about it. No one's gonna fault you for being how you're entitled to your feelings. But don't come out and be anonymous to stare at the pot. That's
Right.
like when Asia got that fourth place vote. Like,
Mm.
no,
mm.
stop.
But even the private conversations part was iffy to me because they tried to keep it private. They've said that multiple times. Players have said that they've tried to keep things private, but nothing was changing. So as an owner, why like obviously this owner just owns his team for money, doesn't care about women's sports at all.
Not all.
Clearly.
But yeah, like as a player, like I mean every player in the W right now, what do you even do? Because you're not gonna know if that's your owner or not. Like you can't just walk into the offices and start like
Like, was
Pressing
that
give me
you?
your
people.
name.
Was you the anonymous one?
You. You
It was
walk in,
you. I
you.
know it was
You
you.
write this like that. You can't just start pressing folk. You can't start pressing folk. But yeah, it is. Yeah, these CBA man, this is going to be a like it's going to be one of those things they make a documentary about, in my opinion, because this is
Mm.
such a pivotal time.
In
But
our women's basketball and the growth. And it's like, are you sure you want to lock out? Like, are you sure you guys want that? Especially with the eyes, the new fans, the people so invested in women. That's what you want to do. Because then, if that's what you want to do, that shows that you really don't want this league to grow.
Hmm.
and to Gabby's point about greed, and this is why at the end of the day, I do think there will not be a full-blown lockout. I think at most it'd be like maybe a month or two. Like it might delay things, but it won't like lock out an entire season. Is to the greed point that TV deals kicking in, the the popularity is higher than ever. If they're really about this money, they understand the fact that these players do not play, and all due respect, as much as Unrivaled is supposed to work as more of an off-season thing, or AU Pro Basketball, Athletes Unlimited, overseas, whatever have you, supposed to work in tandem, they're only going to win by them not getting these players locked into a new CBA.
Hmm.
As we said last show, as C perfectly said, the players are the product, and they're going to need the product to put things on the shelves for people to buy. I mean, so at the end of the day, there I guarantee there will definitely be a season, but it's going to take them getting past that October 31st deadline, and them realizing that these players are not budging, and they have two choices: either lose a whole bunch of money or give them some money and take whatever's left.
Right, negotiate. That's the
Yep.
I
point.
mean, that's
All
Well,
aspects of the contract, not just the money, not just the salary.
yep,
All aspects of the contract. Negotiate. Okay, you were at 9. Let's go to 20. No, the players come back. We'll say we'll meet you here. They probably won't budge off what they want, but that's how the conversation has to start. Like you have to be willing to move off that 9, even if you want to go to 19. Like if
mhm.
you want to keep that 9 in there, even if you want to go to 19,
I
it's more of just like moving the needle,
yes,
negotiating, starting somewhere. But you guys, oh, we'll just give them the money. And that's it. No,
No.
I
it
Yeah,
just
and
believe
frustrates me.
it
It
is
frustrates
frustrating.
me. It's
it
so
is
frustrating
frustrating.
because it's like, do you see how much we love watching these ladies play? And you want to play with them because you want to be greedy when you have enough money already? So
Right.
Yeah,
it's
and
very frustrating.
they have just over a week till it expires. Obviously, the deadline. That's not happening.
No,
Um,
it's
Yeah.
not.
but and they clearly aren't making too great of progress because now you have the league calling the Players Association liars, just like Kathy called Fee a liar, basically. So here
Yeah,
we
It's
go
a
again.
mess.
Yep.
it's a mess.
Let's get another negotiating roundtable started because the last
Yep.
deal just did not work. So,
Yep.
Yeah. My personal prediction is I think the revenue share will end up in like the 30-40% range, and they'll just settle there and just take
but
and
that's a
just.
huge jump.
But
Yeah.
that's it.
That's
Like
what you said,
it still works. Like I don't
Yeah, they're
understand
not
the
even at 10. They're not even
right?
at 10.
like. Okay, I don't know about y'all. Have you ever had a conversation with a regular person who thought the money was just them trying to ask for like 50 mil like the NBA players, and then you explain them the revenue share, and they all go, "Oh, that's not that crazy of an ask," and it's like, yeah, that's what they've been saying the entire
The
time.
entire time. That's what we're
Yeah, they're
talking about.
not.
But
Yeah. It's
Like
just like
I tell you, flew over
I
people's
can't.
heads. Flew over
I
people's
can't.
heads.
so many because so many was like, well, Adam said Silver came out and said this, and I'm like, he didn't say anything, right?
He
Like
really didn't.
literally said nothing.
Yeah.
He
Just
said with
circled.
confidence. He was beating around the bush, and he was not going to let you change his narrative or at all. But that's what you're supposed to do, and that's what Kathy lacked.
Yeah, no, like he legit threw a no look pass on the defense and they weren't paying attention. Like that was one
At
of those
all.
like Adam backdoor cut on him was like whoop, and they was just.
Yay! He
You ever
came
seen
to
those
be the
people in the
great
2-3 zone where
savior.
they're just like sitting there like just not looking and it's behind them like oh no that's what Adam did on them because he went backdoor because that was crazy. That was wild. I just can't
Yeah, he
help but laugh.
backdoor cuts that Drew was getting in game 3 and 4. Those, yeah.
Yep, it was one of them. Like that's what he did to the American people. He did. He just. But to round out our show, in fun of let's stir up enough fun controversy amongst ourselves, we decided to for today's episode make teams of underrated people. So everybody's gonna pitch their WNBA underrated squad. We got 12 people rosters. I know some of us got team captains. We got starters and benches. But anybody want to go first and take it away?
DJ.
All right, I'll go. I will happily go. So, here's my underrated squad. So, I'll give my team captains after because I have nicknames for them, but we have to just reveal because they'll reveal
Oh,
early. So,
I didn't know we were doing that.
oh no, I'm just being extra. This is just me having fun. But my starting point guard, and I think the most underrated guard in the league, I'd argue, maybe if not my other team captain, most underrated player in the league, Natasha Cloud. I think Cloud9 is one of the most underrated guards in the league. So that's my starting point guard. Shooting guard, I got Ariel Atkins. Small forward, I went Rickea Jackson. Now, power forward, I'm going to die on this hill. The most underrated player in the WNBA, in my opinion, the Erica Hamby. She should have been an All-Star. I think she got robbed. I will die on that hill this year. Center, I went Shakira Austin. Now, to the bench. My backup shooting guard, and I'd argue my sixth person off the bench, I got Dejanay. I think Dejanay is heavily underrated. Backup point guard, I went Jordan Canada. We're gonna skip small forward for now because I'm gonna do a little bit of rant when I do that one. Power forward, I went Alyssa Smith. Center, backup center, I went Ezzy Magabor. Then so this is now my backup small forward, and I'd argue the most underrated rookie of last year, and I feel like she did not get the dap that she deserved. I went Anissa Morrow. My homie, give me that. Y'all know that's I feel like the most underrated rookie, and I'm going to die on that hill. Then my two reserves though does not keep venting too long. I went Monique Akol Makani, and I went Isaiah James. I went Za. There's my underrated squad. All right, who's next?
I'm gonna go next, but I ain't breaking it down like that, guys. Sorry, I'm giving you
Me
one,
either.
two, three.
I didn't do positions. Yeah,
Me
no.
neither, guys. He had a lot of fun. I did not do that, but I'm gonna go. These are the players that I feel as though are underrated for me. I'm gonna go Alyssa Thomas, Nneka Ogwumike, Brittany Sykes, Monique Billins, Jordan Canna, Ariel Atkins, Ezzy McMcgraw, Shakira Austin, Layla Khan, Diamond Miller, Azare Stevens, and Shatari Walker. That's my 12.
Okay. All right, Gabs.
Come on, Gabs. Guys,
So
she
I
only
got
has
18.
one UConn.
I have Alyssa Thomas, Veronica Burton, Ryan Howard, because when she got drafted, no one even talked about that. Even I mean, I get it was during COVID, but like still.
Still,
Um,
what?
Tierra Hamby, Natasha Howard, Gabby Williams, Alicia Gray, Rickea Jackson, Dana Evans, Kelsey Mitchell, and then I put Kalia Copper. Then wait, I have a couple honorable mentions. I know we're not like we weren't that wasn't part of it, but I Sanaya, Anissa, and Layla because they got snubbed from so many awards. And so I decided to put them as honorable mentions because I didn't pick any rookies. Just because they've only been in the league one season and
Yeah.
yeah.
I
But I picked the
But
rookie. I picked Lay.
but I put
I almost went Sanaya. I almost went Sanaya, but I
yeah, but I put AT as the captain because as I mentioned last week, probably the most like disrespected player in WNBA history,
mm, yeah,
along with the
my
Connecticut Sun
captain.
being the most disrespected franchise, and she was on
Oh,
the team.
yeah, that's a small market thing though with Connecticut. But my
Yeah,
team captains, I went Cloud9 and
absolutely.
I went Natasha Cloud, and then my other Erica Hamby. My nickname for her is Hip Hip Hembe. That's like for her, her nickname. So, but I see. My thing is when I try to do underrated, and this is why I knew this was going to be fun, is because it's such an objective thing. It's such a,
Mhm.
and to me, when you're an all star or at least an MVP candidate, I don't think it can be considered underrated. Now, disrespected, yes, I agree with you. Alyssa Thomas gets hella disrespect, but I don't think I can call her underrated because I'm like, you're still getting the MVP vote, you know? And it's one of those like it's very like thin line because I realized that's the thing, and I knew that's where our teams were going to fully differ because like you even had Alicia Gray, you had
Oh yeah.
half the W first team. I was like, what? I mean, like I was like,
Yeah, no.
I was like, like I see it, but I don't. Cause I'm like, even like Kelsey Mitchell, given where she's
Oh
at
yeah,
in
no.
her situation, I can understand why she could be seen as underrated. I also was kind of like, but she Loki wanted, she was top five MVP voting. Can we really?
I think this year it brought her level. This year, the way she had to carry Indiana Fever, I think that changed her from being underrated. But before this year, I would say that she did fly under the radar to a lot of people that aren't true basketball fans that don't know what Kelsey Mitchell is about and that she is literally a bucket. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know what she did at Ohio. A lot of people don't know what she did in high school.
Mm,
So I think that's for me, like this year is what put her up because she, finished in top 5 of MVP voting. But so I get why you said Kelsey Mitchell, but Alicia Gray, no. I don't
Yeah, that
I
was
I
that
don't
one.
see
That
that
was
one.
like that was a head scratcher for me. That was a head scratcher, and then see you had NECA, and I was like,
The
like
reason why I say NECA, granted, but I just feel like regardless of how good she is, no one talks about NECA at all.
No, I agree with that. I don't think
No
I
one's
disagree with
not
either of any of yours.
I with NECA because no one talks about her unless it's for the being a president. No one talks about her unless it's this that she's being denied playing overseas. It's never truly about her game. We can't talk about Janae. Janae's her sister. Janae always gives her flowers.
yeah,
But just like on the national broadcast, no one talks about the season that she had.
mm,
And it was a great season. And that
Hmm.
no one talked about it. What, averaging 19.5, I believe. So it's like no one talks about NECA this year. Not only I get the Seattle Storm, we had, but them last few playoff runs, she was hooping.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
so that's why I chose NECA. And I get like I know this is Hamas an all-star too, but I feel as though no matter what they do, they will never be like, oh yeah, this is one of our stars of the league. Yes, AT finished an MVP voting, but that's just because she's averaging a triple double.
Hmm.
If she did not average that, I don't think, or what she did when she was on Connecticut, I don't think that they would talk about her as much as I like to talk about her because I literally seen and witnessed her average a triple double. So I think that's just where that comes from. If you want to say that one's biased, that one could be a little biased, but everyone else I truly believe is underrated.
Nah, I don't feel like there's bias. For me, I just feel like when you at least get some sort of recognition, I can't be
Mm,
like how, and that's why I felt like I couldn't put Sanaya on this list, even though I wanted to, because I was like, all right, but even when she didn't get the all defensive team, like the entire world was like, how'd she not get the all defensive? Like,
right.
I feel like there was enough talk that I was like, all right, I feel like I can't fully give you the underrated tag. Whereas like when it came to the all rookies and some of that other stuff, like Anissa Martin was under the radar, like quiet double double all year. No one had nothing to say, and I was like, I feel like she's got to be the most underrated rookie because like even with the whole underdog moniker, like no disrespect, like they were not no disrespect to giving them like Layla and Sanaya their props. I'm like, I feel like we are not giving Lisa the amount of props that like that. I feel like in that triple threat, like I feel like she was the most like underrated one of the three, and I feel
Yeah,
like that's
Hmm.
why I really hard like even made the take of like most underrated rookie.
right.
Hmm.
You know,
I don't know about you guys. Sorry.
no, you know, go.
I don't know about you guys, but this was very hard for me. I had written down originally like 50 different players, and I just sat there and I was like crossing them out. I'm like, wait, because like I wish I could have put all of them if I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Because
My 12
even like,
spot was between Gabby and Shatari. That part was like, but it's just, you're right. It was so hard. I had like maybe 45, and I was like, yeah, no.
Wow, man, maybe I'm just real like cold and cut with it because I had a very like I already knew where I was going in a way. Like I had my
Mm,
very much set like opinions. I think besides maybe like there was a couple names that I was like maybe not really. Like I know like one that I didn't get on to mention Madison Scott. I thought about for a second. I feel like she
hmm
mm,
secretly had a season. Haley Jones was one that I part of me almost, but I was like.
Maddie, that's for me. That's an honorable mention,
Yeah,
Maddie
Seagrass.
Secrets.
I did think about Seagrass too. Like, I do know. Like, for me, it did kind of go to the stem of like, all right, you produced and like you got no recognition. Like, that's why I'm like, for me, like
Okay.
most underrated player in the W. I feel like this season, Garrett Hamby. I was like easy double double nightly,
But she was an all-star last year.
but like she now no credit this year was crazy to me. Like, it should have
Yeah,
been the
yeah.
back to back, and that's why I was like, all right, like we because even when they did like all the reserves, not that I disagree with any of the all stars, and that's the always thing that's hard with all star reserves and stuff and alternates is like it's not like you got to take somebody off in a sense where you're like this person should have made it, but like I firmly
Right.
do believe that Hamby should have been an all star, and so that's where I'm like this season at least she would be in my opinion the most underrated player in the W right now.
well, I feel like there's a little bit of a theme there because I feel the same way in terms of Azurá Stevens, like what's going on over there in LA.
Yep,
Um, but
she's underrated for me.
but I told myself I would only do one UConn player, so
I picked that. I pick Azure. I'm
but
glad we agree on Jordan Canada.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if I like her in Atlanta, but that's another conversation that we had.
I don't know either. Yeah, maybe we should talk about that. What we
I don't know about that. So, you know,
We
I
gotta.
like it. I like all
well,
your lists, guys. I love that we are different, but also the same.
Well, yeah, but that's why it's fun because there's enough controversy, and I say controversy, but really it's just like, oh, you didn't pick so and so. Well, I picked them. I mean, I agree why you picked your person, but like I picked my person. Like it's very fun. But yeah, I do. I know I will die on the Hamby Hill though. Like that's the one. Like
Mhm.
that's that her and Cloud. I feel like Natasha Cloud did not get enough credit for that Liberty season. Like she was one of the few that like really did stay like the entire like season without going, without injuries and held them afloat. I feel like a lot of that season I think she gets credit for. Like I no nothing wrong with Stewie and Anescu and John Quell. Like no
Nah,
she
but she set the tone a lot on their wins and
yes
got them riled, and she did. But
and the energy.
I just think because they lost and they're the defending champs, that was taking away everything.
yes.
Hmm.
That
But
is
like
gonna
Yeah.
that took, and then they fired their coach, so that was gonna take away everything. So I just think because of the way it went down, even though we know they were, bothered by injuries, but because they were the defending champs, they lost, and then they fired their coach. They was no one was gonna be talked about on that team, but the mess that's going on in that organization.
yeah
Well, it's like Natasha Cloud is to the Liberty as like Sanaya was to the Connecticut Sun this
Hmm.
season. It's just like the energy. Like without them, like they would have both drowned in. They were both going through different issues, injury, and then, rebuilding year. But
Yeah,
yeah, without them, they would have drowned.
yeah
absolutely.
definitely. Yeah, no, yeah, those are you always need an energy shifter. Need someone to bring the energy for sure. And I do feel like Cloud and
Mhm.
I would be on that list. I wonder I'm trying to think of who else would be for other teams, but like every team needs one. I feel like I'm missing somebody like really.
Well, next week, let's throw that in there for next
Uh-oh.
show.
Uh-oh, hint for next show. All right. Top 10 energy shifters.
Yes,
All
let's
right.
go.
Okay,
Top
Okay.
10
but we
energy
say they
shifters.
have to be like positive energy shifter.
I
Yes.
mean, okay.
Okay.
I
I was
mean,
here.
Because if
hey,
we're
I
but
was
you
here.
know what I
I was here for
mean?
controversy.
Let's keep the controversy going because I mean that's energy too. So
Uh-oh.
any energy shifters we want to talk about top 10,
because
let's
I
do
think I
that.
need to do both because I don't know if I could come up with enough for just positive necessarily that are like standing out
Oh my
to
word.
me.
Gabby, right. Gabby, what is
Like
going on?
like like ones that have like a obvious impact. Like I mean there might be some like happy people on your team, whatever, but like really, really impact it. Whereas if you took them off the team, it would change things completely. I don't know.
Oh my word. Oh
Oh, I
my
can't
Guys,
wait
I'm
to
fine.
I can't wait to hear this list, Gabs. I
Yep.
I'm
cannot
I'm
wait
fine.
to
excited.
hear this.
I'm
I'm really
excited.
excited.
Well, it seems like next week we bring an energy list, and we appreciate y'all for bringing the energy of listening. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been 972 Infinity. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.